The honourable member for Mississauga East-Cooksville.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Chair, I will be splitting my time with my colleague, Member of Parliament for Etobicoke Lakeshore. Mr. Chair, I'm very honored to have this opportunity to participate in today's important debate on Canada's support to Ukraine. And also, as a Member of Parliament for Mississauga East-Cooksville, I have many people, many constituents that have Ukrainian roots. Therefore, I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for their participation, for their contribution, and of course all the organizations that were already named by other colleagues during this debate. I was shocked, like many Canadians, by Russia's brutal aggression against Ukraine in February last year, leading to the current unlawful and unacceptable occupation of Crimea. I was shocked, Mr. Speaker, because Russia's action in Ukraine show a fundamental disregard for the rules of the international system. This hostility is a threat to the people of Ukraine, to our friends and allies in Eastern Europe, and to the world order as we know it. By annexing Crimea, Russia has violated its obligations towards Ukraine as stipulated in the 1994 Budapest Memorandum. And by annexing Crimea, Russia has abandoned its responsibility as a world leader, leaving the international community with no choice other than to take actions in support of Ukraine and the region. I am proud to say that Canada, as a strong member of NATO, has been involved from the very beginning. Indeed, a critical part of Canada's contribution to date is the remarkable work of the men and women of the Canadian Armed Forces. And I would like to take some time to highlight the contributions of the Royal Canadian Air Force through Operation Reassurance. As you may know, Mr. Speaker, Canadian Air Task Force participated in the NATO Baltic Air Policing Mission from September to December 2014 in Lithuania. The NATO Baltic Air Policing Mission aims to preserve the integrity of NATO European airspace and safeguard NATO nations from air attacks. This assistance is crucial for member nations, such as Baltic states of Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania, as they lack the full range of air defense assets in their own militaries. This is increasingly important in the wake of Russia's aggression towards Ukraine. Canada's contribution to this essential mission included approximately 135 personnel, 4 CF-18 Hornet fighter jets, along with a mission support element. In this mission, the Canadian Air Task Force worked with NATO allies and responded to intrusions of Baltic airspace. While Canada formally handed over its NATO Baltic Air Policing Mission responsibilities to Poland, the Royal Canadian Air Force continued to actively support operations until early January 2015 to ensure the continuity of operations and to support NATO allies and security partners in the interim transition period. The work of the Canadian Armed Forces and this mission allowed Canada to support NATO operations in the region while showing support to our allies in Eastern Europe. In addition, the Royal Canadian Air Force's contribution to the NATO Baltic Air Policing Mission. Canadian aviators also conducted interoperability training with NATO allies in Romania from May to August 2014. This training included air defense, air superiority, airspace testing and evaluation, as well as tactical support. And this air task force included 6 CF-18 Hornet fighter aircraft and about 200 personnel. And I can see, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, you are showing me that my time is almost up. Therefore, I will conclude. Mr. Chair, Canadians can be proud of Canada's support to NATO assurance measures to promote security and stability in the region. Thanks to the hard work of the Canadian Armed Forces, Canada is able to make a real real and effective difference every time our military personnel deploy. In collaboration with our allies, we are not only demonstrating allies' solidarity, but we are sending a clear message to Russia that attempts of changing borders by force must be stopped. Thank you very much.
Questions and comments? Question est commentaire. La députée de Louis-Saint-Laurent.
Merci, Monsieur le Président, et je tiens à remercier mon collègue pour son discours, pour avoir vu à plein de reprises comment il était très impliqué dans le dossier de l'Ukraine, comme plusieurs d'entre nous ici. Je sais que c'est une cause qui lui tient vraiment à cœur. J'aimerais ça qu'on puisse parler d'un truc un peu plus spécifique autour de ce qui peut être fait présentement, parce que des fois, j'ai l'impression que on va focusser sur certains aspects en particulier et on a de la misère à voir une image plus large de ce qui se passe réellement en Ukraine et de comment on peut faire pour atteindre des objectifs à long terme sur comment l'Ukraine peut se développer et avoir une meilleure gouvernance. J'aimerais ça qu'il puisse m'expliquer s'il croit qu'il n'y aurait pas certains aspects où on pourrait faire du boycott sectoriel de certains secteurs avec la Russie et avec certains, comme on en a parlé à maintes reprises aujourd'hui, plusieurs très proches de Poutine qu'on n'a pas encore mis sur les listes de boycott au Canada. Je pense qu'il y aurait certaines choses comme ça qu'on pourrait faire qui pourraient être extrêmement positives. Et je pense qu'un des points les plus importants aussi dont on n'a pas beaucoup parlé aujourd'hui, c'est la corruption. Parce que tant que l'Ukraine va continuer à avoir des problèmes de corruption, puis dans l'investissement en général, ça va être très difficile pour eux de se développer sur le long terme. Donc, j'aimerais ça qu'il puisse me répondre et si, selon lui, ça ne pourrait pas être autant bénéfique que plusieurs des autres actions qu'on a prises jusqu'à maintenant. Bravo.
Member for Mississauga East-Cooksville.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and I would like to also thank the colleague opposite for her question, and I had an opportunity to be with her as an election observer in the last presidential election in Ukraine. And Mr. Chair, she did speak about many things that can be done and it should be done in Ukraine, but I will focus on this mission on the 200 personnel that's going to train the Ukrainian army. It's very important, and actually I was asking for it since the very beginning. It's important for Ukraine. It's important for every country that they have well-trained military. And the advantage that Ukraine has, that they have the territory where they can set up the training base, where they can get the assistance not only from Canada, but also from other allies, that they can get the proper training, eventually they can get the better equipment, and they can face with force Russia's aggressions. Because unfortunately, what Putin is showing is force, and force can be only stopped by force, and I hope we will come to the point where he is able, or someone that comes after him, to sit at the table and resolve the situation through the diplomatic channels, not through force, not through military actions.
Questions and comments? Short question, we're short of time. The Honourable Member for Winnipeg North.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I can be short. Let me quote a question. Quote a question that was actually sent to me. So I'm just asking this question on behalf of someone else. You made reference to the 200, to the member, and he says, ask him, or just pose a question, how 200 Canadian military servicemen will help prepare the Ukrainian military, who are facing 60 times that number of Russian soldiers fighting in Ukraine. Approximately 12,000 Russian soldiers are in eastern Ukraine right now. I guess the question that I would ask is, how is it determined, the 200? Does the member have any sense? I think it's an interesting question.
Honourable Member for, excuse me, Mississauga East-Cooksville.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And as I guess indicated, These are people that are going to train. These are instructors. And there are also people, instructors coming from other countries, from the US, from European countries. Therefore, that would be a larger group. And they're not going there to fight Russian army. They're going there to do the basic training, to organize that they can build their own army that can eventually face Putin and protect their own territory.
Here, here. Good